Hello.
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 Hello. How we doing?
What's that? Is that primer?
This is
Is
Howard
that
the Duck.
is that the white
Yeah, this is the white brush on.
primer? Big test.
Very thick.
Yeah, looks good though. Looks like it's going on really smoothly and easily.
Yeah, it's like super easy coating. You get a
Awesome.
pretty damn good initial coat on there over a blue miniature. Figured we'd give it the tough board game plastic
Yeah. How it holds
test.
up.
Yeah, it does. Not
Hello.
beating up at all. Nice.
Hello everyone. Paint Liquor, Ogren, Mechanized Imposter, Blood Walrus, Panic Bomb, Vector, hello. Grim Raven, are you in Arizona? That's where we are.
Hello.
Thank you, Jen and Shelby, for the great customer service. Well, you're welcome. Shelby is not here today. She is not here all week, actually.
The cheater. Somehow she gets more vacation than anybody in the company.
It's more vacation than I get.
I don't know how
That's
the hell this
for sure.
happens. We're gonna have a talk to that girl. What's going on?
Well,
here.
huzzah, huzzah! I'll just throw back my legs and pollute my breeches with delight.
Nick Pie, thank you. Said Prime and White Insanity.
Gotta test it. Gotta test it somehow. Doing a thick first base. I'm trying to use it as I would expect a newcomer to use it. I'm not gonna dampen their brush or anything, so I'm literally just putting a brush in the pot time after time after time. I'm not going to clean it. No water. Nothing.
Like it's doing the trick. Hello
Yeah, I
from-
mean, it's of course it's so bright. Well, you can see the inconsistencies. White over blue like this is always going to take more than one coat,
Okay.
but this won't have to take a full two coats. This will just be like touch up after this first one for sure. Doing a really good job.
Captain Mannerings, are you still recovering from UK Games Expo? I thought that you were sick last week.
Sit for a bit.
Grim Raven, yep, we're in Phoenix as well. I don't know if you know that. And yes, it's a bit toasty out there today.
It's hot.
That's why we stay inside. Joseph Baynarowitz.
You've got the
I'm sorry. I don't know why it took me so long. We did discontinue the MDF racks. We did. It was one of the few things that we didn't actually produce ourselves. COVID is kicking your butts. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hope you do the tap water test. Cleaning the models with soap first. Repriming after stripping in isopropyl. You gonna do all those things?
You should never clean a model with any type of soap. Period. Resin or otherwise. Do not ever use soap on models. Metal, resin, or plastic. They're all very porous materials, and that soap is going to sink into the model. You won't get it out with alcohol. Unless you soak them.
What's the cure time? I mean, when the black one.
For the brush on?
Black one dried up pretty quickly.
The black one we did about 20 or 30 minutes before I felt like it was in a good spot. You know, with the first coat. Obviously, it's much thicker. It has a very heavy polyurethane to it. So this was one coat over the same thing. Marvel United mini blue plastic, just like the other one. But it gives us a really nice tough coat. That's a wiping white primer on it off my fingers. Some spots where I missed, you know, where I didn't get the brush in there. The paint is thick enough as a primer for brushing on that it will shrink a bit once it dries. So if you've got a lot of really tight details, it could shrink and you have to do another coat to find like between the fingers, whatever this is. It's kind of like fingers back here too. It's like the sculpt of the
Little ridgy things.
gargoyle wing or something, right? But yeah, it works great. Very matte, very smooth. Glom it on.
What
So we
tomato?
started this at the beginning of the stream. We'll see how long before I can call it usable.
Nick Pye said, "Listen, Jason, if Dawn is good enough for oil slicked ducks, it is good enough for my models."
You know,
but you
no,
You
don't do it.
need 'em.
Don't do it. Don't do it. What was I doing on this guy? Oh, I was doing the metallics, wasn't I? Whoop. Whoop.
Caleb Cushing said, "Yeah, but other people tell people just use soap. So newbies are going to use soap when someone tells them to do that, which is a fact.
Yep.
We know that
The world
people
is
will be
filled
like,
with-
everybody told me to do this, so I did this."
The world is filled with people that just want to watch the world burn.
What can I do if I already got soap on some models? I haven't primed them yet or anything but washed them a while ago before I heard your advice. Should I just wash them with hot water a bunch?
Just do, yeah. So I always say if you feel like you've got a need to clean a model, it's been sitting for a long time, dusty, whatever, warm water and a fingernail brush. I tell everybody, go invest in a fingernail brush. You can get them at the local drugstore or Target or whatever. On Amazon, it's those soft bristled brushes. There's a million bristles on it. It looks like an oversized toothbrush. Super soft, oversized toothbrush.
Yeah.
It's meant for getting in underneath your fingernails, right? So it's not hard bristles, very soft. Get one of those, run it under warm water, and just give it a good wipe with that. You'll get anything that's going to be bad for paint off the model that way, unless, of course, you've handled the model with Cheeto fingers before you painted it, right? So you shouldn't have to worry about any of that.
Paint Looker said, maybe try the white primer on a Battletech mech.
I mean, I definitely could. I did not have a Battletech mech sitting here, other than the one that I've already started painting.
George and Heather, that is awesome. George and Heather says, loving my expanding Pro Acryl collection. Just waiting on the restock of Flame On and Rogue packs for my next orders to ship from FLGS. So just to be clear, you ordered them through your FLGS and they're waiting on a restock? I think that's how I read that.
Make sure it's not us.
Yeah, just make sure it's not us. Like, I think everything.
Like, we got everything in stock. I swear,
I'm gonna
we're doing
double
the
check
job.
right now just to be sure, but
We're doing the thing.
We're good. He said I'll rewash them, I think.
Yeah, just warm water.
Kruger 40 looks down at Cheeto fingers in shame. Caleb Cushing said, when I strip models, I use an electric toothbrush. The vibrations do actually seem to help, so I imagine the same thing applies. Similar to the brush that you're talking about.
Yeah, what I'm talking about is just a manual one, but yeah, you can use something like that.
Avian said, and that is why I varnish my models, because of the irrational fear of nerds handling my models with Cheeto finger. What Tomato said, you don't clean under your fingernails with the tip of a large knife? I thought chat was full of badasses. Guess not.
So I'm supposed to do the do as I say, not as I do routine. Quad, but yes, I am very
George and Heather in the
apt to
UK.
take
Gotcha.
my Benchmade and clean my fingernails with it. That sounds like something that is just the norm for me.
Well, thank you for shopping local, first of all, in the UK. We appreciate that. And for supporting Whalen Games. So if you're not rinsing that brush because a newbie wouldn't, how... Because if you're not rinsing that brush because a newbie wouldn't, how fast does it ruin the brush? It's just like paint. If you clean it, it should be fine, right?
Oh yeah, the brush will be fine. You won't ruin the brush. I'm cleaning it after I use it. I'm just not
Rinsing it.
I'm not rinsing it between brush strokes on the model like I normally would to keep the brush moist enough for paint to just flow off of it, right? In the circumstance where you have somebody new to painting, they just dip the brush in the paint and paint.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's how I tend to test all of our paints, is with the non-painter in mind. How does it respond when I don't use it correctly, so to speak?
Yes, we do have all sets and
Not that there is a true correct way, but there's definitely an easier way to get acrylic to work for you.
no paint liquor. For miniatures, not mouths.
Remember, at Monument Hobbies, nothing we make is edible.
Nothing we make is edible. Caleb said the non-painters I know have paint all up in their ferrule in 5 seconds. How do you just sit there and let them? I feel like some of this has got to go back on you. Captain Mannering said some of the advice you gave last week was gold regarding how to use brushes properly.
Oh, yeah.
Everything we make can be eaten, but doesn't mean it should be. I mean,
Also true.
that's technically true, yes.
Also true.
Paint Liquor, I worry about you if you think it tastes good.
Everything is edible if you try hard enough.
Speaking of monument hobbies, yes, we are. Wad Tomato has a special box arriving today.
Uh-oh.
That's
What'd you get,
exciting.
Wad?
What's going to be in it?
What'd you get, Wad?
Hopefully the right stuff. You try so hard to help them and can't. Tell them they need to be here right now watching. Or at least send them the links to our streams every day.
Before you touch another model, go here, do this.
Shinobi 1/6 and the Archer, awesome. You probably got one of the last Shinobi in that scale.
They are gone.
They are gonzos. And hopefully I didn't have to. We had a stock mismatch on those, so there were a couple people that didn't get them. I had to refund.
Oops. I never look, but you know, it might be because they're sitting over here. Like there's a Shinobi 1/6 right here.
Jeez.
Because we've taken them and shown people on stream and then never
Yeah,
put them back,
never
so there
put
are
'em
some
back.
over here.
Well, oops.
So you could call one of those people back and be like, "Hey, we have it."
I don't remember who it was.
Well,
I'd have to go back and see if I can find him in support.
oops.
Oops.
I'm like,
Hey, Wad
oh,
Tomato, if your
the
box
problems might all be right here
does
in this
not
shelf.
include that model and only has the Archer, send me an email because we might have one for you.
I have one right here, as a matter of fact.
If Paint Liquor shows up at Monument HQ, Shanghai him and have Chris recreate the Star Trek episode with 4 lights to deprogram his paint oral obsession and to make a funny ad. He never comes here. We always mail him stuff.
He's afraid of us. He's afraid of the outside world.
Panic Bomb finally got a bomb snail sticker. Awesome. You know that if there's ever a sticker that you would like, you can request it on your order.
We don't guarantee.
We don't
that you get it,
guarantee
but
because
we
the
try
notes
hard.
always don't come through.
But we try.
But we try. So you can for sure request a specific sticker. And if we have it and the team sees the message, then they will send it to you. You got to donate the plastic bottle sticker. No, you did not.
Hoodlums, all of you.
You've tried those. So the notes don't always work. We do our best. PK1919 got an Oz and Eowyn. I don't know how to say that one.
Awen
Eowyn.
and the
Awesome.
Nazgul.
When's the 3rd texture trainer coming out? Soon.
Soon. We're really just waiting on box art, but we will have it before then. We've got enough produced now. We could actually go to sale with it. We're just waiting on boxes and stuff. So when the packaging's there, we'd like to have the full box art so everybody that buys it gets a sticker, the full label. But the first ones that we sell, if you guys want, we could sell them without it.
You got no email about it not being available? Okay, well, hopefully you're good. I did send out a couple of emails and people didn't respond, so I just had to refund. No, the team definitely reads the notes if the notes appear because it's right on the packing slip. It's hard to miss. Captain Mannering's any advice on where to get a bust model from? I'm currently looking at Ash Cyber Succubus from Nico Galaxy that AC Miniatures just painted. They're a place that lists good bust producers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, most of them are in your part of the world,
Yeah.
so you shouldn't have a tough time. It's just determining what you want. Carol Rudick makes a bunch. Abyssal, um, even Big Child has got some, I think.
Game delay. Twitch losing my viewing streak really messed with my attendance. Now instead of hopping on right as the stream starts, sometimes I wait as long as 19 minutes before joining. What? The first 19 minutes is when it all happens. Game delay. You've missed it.
Why you treat us this way?
You were told to ask here, or perhaps you suggested it yourself in another conversation. You were told to ask what? Should I leave then? Well, I mean, we've marked you as present, so. T. Schmid, hello.
The laser has shipped. Shh, don't tell Jen.
Are we gonna have that kind of day today? I think we don't want to have that kind of day today.
You need to make sure that it has a delivery date when Jen's out of the office.
Why don't most paint manufacturers put pictures of swatches, actual dried paint, on their website? Caleb Cushing would like to know.
Because it doesn't do you any better than the digital one.
Yeah.
Because computer monitors are not ever going to be tried and true for that. So we use the actual color as done by spectrometer on the swatch that's on there. It's tough to get a feel for matteness even. But the idea has not been, poo-pooed around here. We've thought about it a lot of ways, but every time we try to do it, it just is not.
I mean,
not
we do
relevant.
have the videos of the drawdowns, right?
Yeah.
Aren't those on all of them?
All the paint sets have got drawdowns, but they're all on wet palette, but you've got that. For ours, at least.
If you ever were at a painting class, you can see the color shift between the actual model and the monitor. Yeah, it's any monitor, even the best one, would show it exactly right, would it?
Yeah, I mean, if you have color corrected monitors like the guys have in there, then you can get, pretty dead nuts on.
Yeah.
Like here, looking from the model to the screen at our end is exactly what we're painting. That doesn't mean anything to you.
Right.
Because depending on how you have your color settings, if any of your monitors is set to video game color settings, then you're not seeing what we're painting. Because you're getting like a bigger bloom of color, bigger contrast, right? All the monitor manufacturers even bake in these settings that make it more pleasing to the eye because they're trying to sell you a monitor that looks great, not one that's perfect to the source. So that's always a dilemma.
Question from Mike. So when airbrushing, do you only dilute the paints for transparency? Will it actually flow through with a clean spray pattern if not?
The answer is yes. Mainly for me, because of how I airbrush and my knowledge of airbrushing, I'm able to dilute just for transparency. Now, there are times where that changes. If I know I'm spraying, like if I were doing a whole lance of these guys, let's say, right? Or Star. They're freaking filthy clanners now, right? So if I were going to paint like 4 or 5 mechs in this color scheme, I would probably dilute each of my colors and expect to do like 2 coats rather than 1. so that I don't have to fight the needle tip drying as I paint multiple models. So there's a production line, like when you have a lot of work you need to do that requires thinning to elongate your spray time and not have to mess with, the stopping to clean the needle off every now and then. So that's just a convenience thing.
Well,
But
huzzah,
generally, if I'm
huzzah.
painting one
I'll
model,
just
you'll
throw
find
back my
me
legs
starting
and
with
pollute
paint
my
not
britches with
thinned
delight.
through base coat, first color, second color, and then when I start getting into my top layers, I start thinning for transparency so that I can add the bright highlights in layers to keep track of the contrast as I build it. Because if you go with white or bright neutral gray like I'm doing here, and you spray a highlight with it undiluted, you're going to get way too much brightness on the model instantaneously, and it can overdo all of your color. So I tend to thin at my highlights, like my mid-tone and highlights start to get thinned.
Final needs, thank you for that sub.
But yes, most of our paints, other than the heavy-bodied ones, will go through the airbrush just fine with no dilution.
Final needs said that Gundam is sick.
It's a good Gundam.
Caleb said, yeah, I get bad monitor settings. However, when I see the paint on a painted mini next to that spectrometer thing turned into a hex code and they don't look the same on the same monitor, that feels like a problem.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like I said, it doesn't matter. If you're looking at a digital color, it's never going to be the same as the paint. Ever. All we can hope is to just get as close as we can. We know on our end, the way that we design it is that we know on our end, with the color corrected monitors we have, everything is as close as humanly possible to our paints. We are not like some other companies. We don't design our paints from hex codes.
Well, and we also can't speak for what other companies do.
Yeah, well, that's true too.
On how they present their stuff on their websites. We can only speak to what we do. And I think Jason's given a great explanation.
Yeah, all we can do is make it for the monitors we have that we know are spot on. Because we're the ones staring at the paint, and we stare at the monitor, and we're like, yep, that's as close as it's going to get. Go with that. But then it falls apart at the user end. Because we can't control the monitors that, everybody is looking at it with. Some people are seeing it spot on. It's always going to be close, though. Unless you have some really weird color settings that are making things too, which there are. Realize some monitors will have like a warm viewing setting that will make things so yellow and orange that when you get a color, it might not look anything like what you thought it would. So, always good to.
Curious when the matte varnish will be available to purchase. Hope you're having a great Monday. I think that's Bud. Hello.
Hoping for matte varnish by sometime kind of late July, early August would be great. We might see it before then, but we're down to ordering raw material, and then, we'll be mixing and bottling as soon as we get all of that. So some of that we're not in control of the timeline on.
Grizz Christofferson, hey guys, happy Monday. Wondering if you've painted one of the Paradise Jericho miniatures for Minework. Finding it hard to resist your sale prices right now.
I have not painted the newer versions of that. Chimera had like some of those as part of an original series that Mateo did with them when he was working with Chimera on some stuff. So there's some, like, I can't remember all their names. The guy with the swagger.
Mike said that helps a lot. I've got 22 bases to do with a few colors that I don't want to manually brush, so that makes sense. By the time I'm done with one layer of thinned colors, then do the second pass.
Yeah.
Sale is still going on with the Lord Commander back. I've been back for a long time, and yes, I approved of this sale. Davian BRB, check in my monitor settings.
Yeah, it's weird because some monitors nowadays, they're whatever they ship out of the box normal with doesn't look true to the world that it's trying to present to you. And you have to give them credit because 90% of what they're trying to reproduce is not what we're doing. they're trying to reproduce game colors in video games and such.
Baka, we will not be restocking any of the Mindworks or Journeyman miniatures.
Nope.
So if it's gone, it's gone, unfortunately. And back to the color, the way the colors appear. Caleb said, yeah, I hear you. I recently had an issue, not with Monument, where something was rendered as a blue-green on the hex code, and it was actually a blue-gray, or maybe it was the other way around. Not blaming you guys or anything, but most other manufacturers I couldn't get an answer out of. Yeah, we don't have anything to do with what is on their websites and what they present for their
It's
colors.
tough. It's always been tough. You know, when we started going down the path of making paint, it was like, oh God, the hard part is like getting the hardest part is getting the color on the label, because that's a digitally printed sticker, right? To look anything like the color in the bottle. And so we did a lot of work to get somewhat close on all of that. Got a spectrometer, do all the work. But even then, Gabe's got to work pretty hard to make sure they look good, and we have to go through multiple edits sometimes to get it all to happen.
Game Delay said the colors for the monthly challenge have given some significant challenges, not being able to do any kind of deep red or purple.
Yep. Yes, I mean, the reason to do limited palette style challenges, even if you just do it yourself, right? Pick 4 colors randomly out of your kit and paint a model with them, is to get you out of your comfort zone, right? Get away from colors that you use a lot, that you might have a repetitious use of, right? So if you're always like, yeah, I always turn to reds, or I always use this particular gray or whatever, you know, being able to either mix to that color through primaries, right? Or finding a replacement color that does the same thing. Just broaden your horizons. Get you to be a better painter by spreading your love and knowledge of color a little bit.
Philip said, just let me do the labels. My color blindness won't be a hindrance at all. We'll just, yeah, everything will just be, trust us, it's blue, Phil says.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we name our
colors the way we do. We'll just put gray swatches on everything. Just trust us, it's blue.
Just a opaque black bottle.
Yeah.
Can't see that you even have paint in it.
Yep. This is the red you want.
That's what we should have done with Wizard's Butt.
Yeah.
Like, had it be a complete opaque bottle. Right? Wish you luck. Hope for the best. Hope you like it.
Panic Bomb said, my challenge minis are going to be super desaturated.
Yeah,
I'll do everything by feel. This feels like a green, and Philip should know because he tested out all the green. This does not feel like green, so it's not green. Put it in the not green pile. This is green. It goes in the green pile.
It's just a green, and it handles every color in the world right there. There's a green pile and a not green pile.
If Philip is blind, if Philip is colorblind, then how did he know the paint was green? Because we told him.
Philip, fired.
He knows the feel.
Just gave our secrets away.
Be green or not green.
How funny.
My friend used to have to do color calibration QC for top fashion brands for ancillary items like bags and boxes. He said it was a massive headache.
It's so hard. It's so hard. And, you know, I can't imagine being like, and it's funny to say this as a paint company, right? But we name our colors close to what they are. People know what they're going to get. I don't know that we've ever had anybody say, hey, I bought this color. It's nothing like what I thought it was going to be. But I can't imagine being like a fashion company where somebody maybe has like a shirt or a dress online and you buy it. Well, like you just said, you bought something that was supposed to be the same hot pink and you get it and it's not.
They were even
because
the same
you realize
name.
that different bolts of fabric are dyed in different lines, and so even though they're the same color range or the same, you know, code of dye that they use and the pigment's supposed to be the same, it changes.
Same. Like the name of the color listed on the website was exactly the same. They marketed them together as an outfit. You just bought them separately.
Yeah.
And they were not the same.
Yeah. So I'll let you in on a secret. I roll red. The pigment changed recently. Okay. So Pyro Red, the pigment changed. So we bought as much as humanly possible of the current Pyro Red that we use. But it was end of lifed. And so the new Pyro Red, right, is just a slight bit different. So we had to reformulate and test to make sure that it fit with our expectations for
so
Pyro
it's
Red as
still-
a single pigment paint.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit more red. It's even better than the old one in my opinion, but it is a slight difference, and that's just the way it goes because there's no way to get that pigment anymore.
Yeah. Crazy. Ghost Hunter, where's Jacob? You have questions? What do you have questions for Jacob? Philip might be able to relay them. They share an office.
They office together.
Yeah, you made me real nervous there for a second. Me too, T. Schmid.
No, we would never. I mean, we've had to change colors in the past, right? We had to change
One of the oranges, right?
faded plum.
Oh, faded plum.
We've had to change orange.
Okay.
And you'd never know. But we go through the whole process. We don't allow a pigment to change without giving it the go through to make sure that the formula meets everybody's expectations based on the orange you've already had. I don't think anybody else does that.
Okran said I have the 2 different versions of the red.
No, you don't. The newer version has not made
we
production
haven't
yet.
made it yet, right?
No. There can be slight variations to a particular paint, but it's not going to be enough to really make a difference. And that's the kind of attention we give to production through every color, every batch.
Awkwardish Panda from YouTube today. Hello. Yes, you can tune in there as well. Game Delay said Monument Hobbies drops red out of their lineup. It had a good run. Primary colors are now cyan and yellow, and we can't remember any other. Not in my office because folding laundry, but I can have you up on the big screen in the bedroom. Yay, big screen.
Life size.
So what flavor is this new red? Still donkey butt. That's our standard.
I pulled Gabe into my office today. I was all excited. I never really get excited about solicitation emails, but I got one from a marketing paraphernalia company that was like, hey, we do the hanging air fresheners and custom logos.
like car?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Can they make it in a Pro Curl bottle?
Yeah, and so I was going to get it as a Don't Eat the Paint logo and have it be like the worst flavor they had, which was squash. Yeah. I was like, don't eat the paint.
Wait, so you're gonna make it smell bad?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was
No,
the whole point.
no. I don't like that.
It's like those jelly beans you get that taste like vomit.
No.
Yeah.
That's not a good one.
Yeah. So we already did it.
I was just gonna say I have a feeling it's already been done. I'm
No,
not
we
excited
didn't.
about this.
No, because I got my head together at the last moment. I was like, that's a waste of money.
Thank you. Okay. One of your friends just got air fresheners of his kids' faces as a gift. Do they smell like his kids? Want a Pro Curl car freshener that smells like wizard butt?
Yeah.
Well,
That's what we were
careful what you
hoping for.
wish
I was hoping that
do
hoping
you know
that-
what wizard butt smells like?
well, my dream would have been that they had it to where it was exactly like those jelly beans to where I could get like, donkey butt.
No. No. Paint is non-toxic. That does not mean edible. It is non-toxic. But don't eat it.
I have a feeling the world needs to define non-toxic a lot better.
Yeah. Want to know what wizard's butt tastes like? I mean, that's between you and the wizard. I'm not going to get involved in that.
I'm sure each one's different, just like the color
I would think.
and what they've done that day.
Game Delay said, listening to the story about making stinky things, I've realized I see eye to eye with Jason probably 60 to 80% of the time, but with Jen, it's pretty close to 100%. Because you're a rational human being, Game Delay.
Stop
I like you.
it.
Wizard's butt bottle, and they smell like funfetti cake. I would be down for a cake smelling air freshener.
It said don't eat the paint, just to make it that much more
Yeah.
confusing. Don't eat the paint, but it smells like grape. Like the markers they made smell. What a bad idea.
Loved those things.
How many kids had colored tongues from that whole ordeal?
Yeah. Lots.
All of them.
It's because the adult in you knows Jen is right. The smartass in you wants to agree with Jason. Is there a flavor that affects everybody in the same like negative way that everybody's bleh? Add that to the paint so people stop eating the paint. I mean, the paint already tastes bad. I don't think that there is anybody out there who thinks it tastes good. If they do say it tastes good, they're lying because they're trying to be funny.
Yes.
There's no possible way that anyone is like, "Oh, this is delicious. Let me have some more."
Zambi's in here.
Although I assume she will pop up momentarily now that you have summoned her. Paint is non-toxic, but the brush soap could literally kill me. I mean, if you are gluten intolerant, then hopefully it's a very small amount, so hopefully it wouldn't kill you. But I understand the allergic reactions. Nothing better than getting your kick from cherry scented markers. Velvet Yoda 2.0 update on the order for your friend. Didn't show up Friday, but he was out of town. It showed up on Saturday. Awesome. Stoked to get new paints for his birthday. Was this the one that did we send it, or was this the one that you were trying to get for someone in the UK? Scratch and sniff model paint could have a place somewhere, though. I mean, it would be fun, but be worried that the scratching would compromise the paint job. People wouldn't like that. A quick way for people to learn that smell does not indicate actual taste. I did not have this problem with putting things in my mouth that don't belong there. What is wrong with people? Too many things to list, deadbeat. Oh, Zambies is on vacation. One of these vacationers.
That's not allowed.
Went back to her Pennsylvania Dutch roots. She Amish?
That means she went to go buy a sandwich at Wawa with some pierogies.
We know that people lick their brush to get a point on it, but that is unnecessary. We try and discourage that. Josh Jones said, I've stopped watching tutorials because people kept licking their brushes. Well, you're not going to see any of that here.
Nope.
So stick around. And if you've got any questions, let us know. Awkwardish Panda is allergic to hops and lives in the Midwest, home of beer. Is gluten the reason why the drunken brush goop smells kind of like beer? The beer is what makes it smell like beer.
Yeah, I think the beer is.
But yes, the beer has gluten.
It literally has alcohol in it. Great for bachelor parties.
No, don't eat it.
We're getting any new stuff, or are you guys no longer distributing in the U.S.? It's our goal right now to stop distributing third-party in that way. It just doesn't really work. Unfortunately, the bulk of those companies are just much smaller, and as much as we love to help, it doesn't fit. It puts a lot of strain on them.
Velvet Yoda said, what about the glue? Can we eat that? Only if you want to never eat anything again. Because it'll just seal your mouth right shut.
I feel like in a world where there's so many food options, you
I
probably
know,
ought to just
so
stick
many
to the
good
food.
food options out there.
I would just stick to the food part.
I would eat that lunch that we had today again and again and again and never even think about eating paint.
We had a really good lunch.
We had a really good lunch today. Brush Lickers Unite. There are literally dozens of us. Oh, don't drink the brush goop or eat the brush goop. It is soap. Not meant to be eaten. Or not meant
Yeah,
for,
again,
for
all
drinking.
natural ingredients does not mean.
Yeah, because it's mostly soap. And just imagine the lather in your belly. Will not feel good. The Dr. 34 said, anyone know where I can buy a variety of plinths and brass rod? I just got my tall shinobi, and I am in need of plinths for it, and the 6 other nice resin models I have attained in the past 12 months. Etsy
Yeah.
for plinths.
So there are quite a few people in the. Where are you located? Did you say?
Did not say. But
You're in the
Bakamaru has the
States.
same question.
You've got
Baka, are you in the
Jacob
US?
Jansen, Joe Orthober. Make great plinths and stands for display miniatures and such.
Oh yeah, Joe is a different name though, right? Isn't his
I think so now.
something dad? I can't remember.
But Jacob Jansen is more active in that world, I think.
Paint Liquor got brass rods from Amazon.
Yeah, and brass rod from Amazon. Easy. Unless you have like a local hobby store. Sometimes Michael's and Hobby Lobby have that kind of stuff too.
Green oxide looks like a nice marinade. Nope, it's not.
The chances are their brass rod and stuff will be more geared towards like flour making. It might be like way more than you really want.
McSalty grew up with boomer parents. It's not my first rodeo eating soap. Exactly. And it was punishment for you. So why would you do it willingly now? Mike also eaten soap, was a child with the mouth of a sailor. Again, punishment. Why do it? Stomach will be clean. There are other better ways to do a cleanse. I love eating soap. I blame childhood trauma. Kind of like a kid being made to smoke a whole pack to teach them not to.
Here's the next cigarette. Hope you're enjoying yourself.
Dr. 34 is in Minnesota. So
Yeah,
you
so
should
Jacob
be able
Jansen would be
to-
your best bet.
Yep.
He makes great stuff.
Mushrooms are all natural, and results of eating them will vary as well. Yes, that's indeed. Zazim wants to know if you're planning on nooshing this mech.
I don't think so. I was initially thinking about it, but I don't think so anymore. I've been enjoying the clean look on him.
Josh Jones said, are the Pro Curl transparent paints comparable to the Citadel contrast paints, or are they more of a wash style paint?
So transparents are simply very high grade single pigment artist paints that start off with a lower opacity, generally because that's the way the pigmentation actually is to start. And they act just like the paint I'm painting with now. They're just less opaque, and you mix them, dilute them, use them how you want. You can use our glaze wash medium with them. So you can take our glaze wash medium and mix in. You can take our metallic medium and mix in, but the glaze wash medium will turn them into contrast paints, right? But out of the bottle, they are just paint. They're a normal paint that you can see through. But they have some of the most intense pigmentation of our entire line. So they will be super, super vibrant. If you like take transparent blue and put it on a model, your model is now freaking blue. So you have to be ready for what you're going to get with them. And be okay with diluting the heck out of them. They last forever. Because you spend so much time diluting them like that. But they are, like I said, they're by far the most versatile paint in our line.
Mike said, I used Noosh this morning during a conference call. Multitasking. Used it to get gray, blue into my Legion bases. Nice clean effect, and the slight streaking tint when I wiped them gave them a good effect. That's awesome. We're glad you tried it too. Can the transparent white be used as a pin wash?
Yeah, it can. The transparent white is the least opaque of the entire bunch. It's made to be, it's a zinc white pigment, so it's super transparent. It's made to really be an adder that you would mix in with the others to make sure that you've got the ability to create whatever color you want. But you can use it on its own for sure. You just may have to do more coats of it than you would with the others to get the effect you're looking for. I use the transparent white mainly as the basis for my glow when I'm doing OSL. I'll do the transparent white in the location first and then add whatever color light I want the glow to be. Because the transparent white will give you the value you want. And because it is so transparent, you can build it up really, really easily.
Bakamaro, I used Noosh in the shower last night on my head. I have no hair on my head. This was well before the Noosh. I can't speak to how it works as a shampoo. Probably not well. What were you trying to accomplish?
Yeah, not really what we tested for.
Awkwardish Panda found a new FLGS that carries Pro Acryl. Awesome.
That's awesome.
Growing all the time.
Yeah, we've been very slow about onboarding because of all of our production needing to have some time to catch up. But we're getting back on track now, so.
Noosh is not shampoo. We've never said that. In fact, Jason said that it's not what it was made for. Or tested for. I don't remember what he said, but not shampoo. Sometimes I just want to be really in tune with my pains. All right. Did it work for you?
You do you.
If it worked for you, I guess that's all that matters.
We just got back from Sedona, Arizona, so I'm not judging. I listened to some superiorly hippy dippy BS this weekend.
Some really good hippy dippy stuff this weekend.
So if you feeling more in tune with the paint chakra, it's your gig, you go.
Jason had his aura read. I did as well, but that's probably not surprising. It's probably more surprising that Jason did it. No red in his aura. Gold and orange and green.
Yep.
No red. Ours were very similar. Mine was less green, more gold. Plaid aura.
It was weird. My aura was hot pink and plaid.
Did they pick up some agitation in Jason's aura? I bet they picked up some agitation. No, we both were at like a very high vibration. And all of his chakras were very open. It's beautiful.
I have beautiful chakras.
He has beautiful chakras. And then he went on a Jeep tour where he thought he was going to die.
It was pretty brutal.
And I did a past life meditation, but did not have any real like past life revelations or anything like that.
Some people were telling me the stories they had from that, and I'm like, okay.
There were some. I mean, because she left time for all of us to go around and say anything that we experienced. And
one guy, this big manly man, was like, "Yeah, I was a bird, and I jumped out of the nest to go fly, and I got killed by another
right
bird."
Out of there.
I was like, "Oh, well, okay then."
Is that why Pyro Red changed? Because there's now Jason Aura in the pigment? Drugs were not involved in anything we did. There was
it was a tobacco thing.
One event that was a Peruvian tobacco ceremony. And yeah, that was
sounded like it had some weirdness going on.
Not quite ayahuasca level trippiness for those people that. No, the bird dream had nope, it was just meditation. No drugs. Chris said, speaking of hippy dippy, my sister works at an equestrian center barn where they have a horse psychic. Found that one out recently, had to laugh to myself.
Yeah, my mom and my sisters have all been big into that at various points. I've heard a lot about it.
I mean, I am open to all of that stuff.
I don't.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I don't have enough knowledge on the truth of the universe to be able to argue one way or another. So I'm down to hear everybody's story, but do not be surprised if I laugh at you. I'm currently listening to the Joe Rogan podcast with Terrence Howard, and I'm laughing a lot.
Yeah, it was. I was like, what? The whole time we were listening to him, like, huh? What'd he say?
I got to the point right now where Joe Rogan is like, yeah, but like that's not the kind of stuff you can say in a soundbite, dude. And Terrence is like, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, that's just not the kind of stuff you can go out and expect people to understand. Like you can't just say what you just told me and have people write it as a quote.
Yeah. Yeah, Deadbeat, it was like super, super deep, intense meditation, like 2 hours. With sound bath and all kinds of stuff, and it was pretty interesting. It was almost like hypnosis, basically.
Well, I was getting all of my joints rattled loose.
Yeah.
Banging around in a big old Jeep up in the mountains.
Horse psychic? Nay, that is nonsense. Why saddle yourself with such beliefs? It's a nightmare. I think I need to hoof it back to work. That was all the horse puns. I love it.
All in one.
Rogan just usually agrees with whoever his guest is at the time. I mean, he didn't have a lot of input because if you've listened to the Terrence Howard one, you know that Terrence Howard does most of the talking.
Yeah, he goes off. Like, it's like, settle down, big fella.
Like, you almost forget that Joe Rogan is even there.
Yeah, he only pipes in every now and then.
Avian, I agree. You can definitely meditate without all of that. Just sit and breathe. That is correct. But this was a specific activity where it was meant to be more than that.
But for a lot of people that don't practice it regularly,
exactly.
It needs to be a group thing that is led by somebody.
And the music, the sound bowls really help with it. So. Right. Chris feels exactly the same way you do. likes to picture the horse psychic as being like the character from the movie Poltergeist, who has to whisper as they explain things.
I'm down. There's a lot of really trippy stuff in the world.
to
I'm
the light,
I'm down to learn more
Carolyn.
about it. I don't care.
Go toward the light.
Carolyn. Carolyn. Yeah, I'm down. I don't hold it against anybody. If you got a trippy belief, share it with me. Like I
Yeah.
said, I may laugh, but I don't do it out of meanness. I'm just like, that's pretty trippy.
You got an extra tea in there, maybe, Baka?
This is some pretty good contrast on the gray metal plates. Obviously, all my light is coming from this direction. I don't have a whole lot of highlights here. Some mid-tone stuff, but no bright ones. I believe if you go someplace, you'll get there. Trippy. Eh. Baka, thanks. Meditated or
you-
mediated?
Are we supposed to announce something?
Yeah. But Gabe forgot to tell us.
Gabe?
Do you know what the command is?
No.
Hey, Gabe.
Wherever you go, there you are.
Jabe. Jabe.
All we are is dust in the wind, dude.
Yeah, we have a giveaway. We have a giveaway you guys can enter, but we got to remember what the command is so you can see it. Did we get hit with another C&D? No.
Gabe's here.
Hi.
So, Gabe, what are we doing today?
Well,
I think we're supposed to tell people something at 2.
It's now 3:01. We're
It's
a little
okay.
late.
Is it live?
it is live.
It is live.
Okay.
It's been live since 2.
Okay, good. So we
it's
planned.
Up. It's up.
We planned ahead. Everything's functioning.
Yeah. So we
What's
post.
the command?
Well, we'll get there in a sec. 'Cause it gives it
Damn.
away. It gives
Avian,
it
that
away.
was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
So today in Discord we had those little posts we put with our new trailer for our game Age of Angra,
Mm-hmm.
which also has a link to our YouTube with some other videos as well.
Mm-hmm.
But in honor to celebrate, we had a few copies shipped early to Monument HQ
What?
that
What?
we will be opening up.
He doesn't tell us anything. He just spends our
I
money.
do. We will be opening up a giveaway to you guys, part of the Discord and our community on Twitch, for a copy of Age of Angra early. So you can enter our giveaway. So the command, Jen, is !giveaway. And I'll
I
take
was going to
you-
try that, actually.
And that's if you guys go to that link, you can sign up for the giveaway. You can also follow us on Instagram,
No.
Facebook, and YouTube.
You're not. You don't have to do ! Giveaway here to
No, no, no,
enter.
not
That's
here.
just going to repeat the link.
Go to the
Yes.
link.
Go to the link and then enter.
So Jen does !giveaway.
Yeah.
If you go to that link, you can sign up with your email, and then if you follow us on our other social media platforms, you'll get more entries, up to 12 entries.
12 entries.
12
You're
entries.
right. I can't stop. Well, technically, I can stop you if I really wanted to.
Yeah, we should make
Punisher.
that command.
But
now
I'm not
available
going to.
everybody.
I don't know how it's working.
Oh.
It shouldn't be. So I'm not sure why.
What happened?
I'm not sure how it's working for them.
Well, no, because they're doing exclamation point giveaway, which is just posting the link again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're
just
saying.
like if
they shouldn't
any
have
of
the
them-
ability to do that, is what we're saying.
I don't know why it's
Oh,
happening.
well, if any of them type in exclamation point store, it'll bring up
yeah,
the store
well,
link.
I
so.
think it works. Yeah. Well,
Well, because we have those
Weird.
made for everybody.
Gotcha.
But this one should be made to where it's just moderators.
yeah.
Okay.
So, if you
But anyway,
guys-
there you go.
Yeah, so the giveaway will go on until Sunday night at midnight. So you have until then to sign up. And then on Monday next week during stream, we will announce winners.
Oh, T. Schmidt, we're totally selling your email.
We have already
Yeah.
sold it, T. Schmidt.
Yeah, we already sold
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah, we sold it.
Specifically yours. Only
Specifically
yours.
yours.
Yeah, a lot
in
of
fact,
time.
yours is the
Just
only one.
yours.
That
A
we've,
lot of
that
time.
We've made a lot of money off your email.
Just
Yeah.
your email. No, as always, our privacy is that your info never leaves Monument.
No.
We don't share it with partners. We don't share it with anybody. It's ours and ours alone.
Yeah.
Yours and yours alone, technically. So, yeah. You got a copy of the game?
I do. Let me go grab one.
One that's in shrink wrap?
I can, yeah.
We'll even show you what you could win. But yeah, really help us out. We'll announce it on the Discord as well. It's a way to drive all the people that follow Monument Hobbies over to Hobby Nerd Studio so you can get info and updates on that. We do keep the two companies separate because they reach out to similar but also different groups of people, because not all the games that we make, well, right now, none of the games we make have anything to do with miniatures.
Right.
So there you go.
And it is just U.S., correct?
Just
On
US,
this one?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, for now. We're
now.
we're taking a look at, like, later on we'll be able to do something once the game is more broadly distributed to get some free copies out to do some giveaway stuff. So this is the actual retail version of the game. This is not some preloaded demo copies and stuff. This is the actual game as it will go on store shelves. We had some promo copies sent in, and I'll be going to Dice Tower Games in early July. We'll be doing a live show with them, going over it. Hopefully we'll see a bunch of review stuff coming and going. But yeah, it's a whole thing. We even have a phone app for counting your life totals. It's free.
Yeah.
Free app
Bam.
that you can put on your phone to count your life totals. But it also does come with the life counting cards on it too, so you've got the entire setup.
And we're not just giving away one. We will
Give
be
away
giving
lots.
away 5 of them.
5.
5 copies.
5.
5 copies.
Game delay. Either you're welcome or we're sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like
You're
MySpace?
welcome,
Yes.
Robert.
No Canada. Sorry, not this time.
Oh, I forgot to check. We've given our white primer an hour.
Right?
You get entries for MySpace likes. Yes, you get like a ×10 multiplier.
Not bad. Completely dry. Gave it
Awesome,
an hour.
guys. Well, good luck.
Put it on super
Hopefully
thick.
you're able to get your hands on one of these bad puppies before they go live.
Is there anything that limits the number of entries people get?
They enter once by giving their email, and then they can follow the YouTube, follow all of the Hobby Nerd socials, and that gives them more entries. But you only get one, and then the amount of tickets prescribed to your entry goes up with all of the things that you do.
Cool.
Yep.
And you know us, we're not nefarious. We're not going to spam you with a bunch of nonsense. So go ahead and sign up for everything. You'll get a lot of cool info if you go over to all of the Facebook and the YouTube and the Instagram and all that. We'll be posting like we do on Monument Hobbies. It'll just be the game stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun.
There's some cool stuff on the Hobby Nerd socials already. So
It's bootleg games.
check them out.
Yep.
No, spam me, please.
Spam me, Daddy. Wait, what?
Oh, hey.
Wait, what?
Okay, hear me out. What if I had something in Canada that you would love to have that I could offer you that would allow you to offer me the opportunity to win as a member of USA's hat?
I mean, we could probably open up. I'll talk to Gabe and see what it takes. It's only a few copies. It's just realized that your country charges you a lot when
That's
stuff comes
the
over
thing.
the border.
That
It's
is
not that we don't want to send it to you.
correct.
It's
That's
that a
been
lot
our
of people
biggest
send
issue.
it back because you get
And
it
then we
and
have
they
to
try
pay
to
to
charge
get
you
it back.
$150 for it.
It's ridiculous.
We don't control any of that. So
And we've had a problem with that recently of
Evo bags.
they've gone up. Maybe, I don't know. We don't have any visibility on the import charges or anything like that. And we've had people refuse to accept things, and then UPS charges us to get it back. It's just a mess. So we really encourage people to shop local.
Yeah. It's tough doing international giveaways because the cost is not bad on our end to send it to you, but your cost could be like, hey, I got this for free, and they're wanting to charge me $100 in
Right.
local currency. That doesn't fly. That's not free.
Right, and the giveaway rules and stuff in other countries, we don't, that's gets all tricky. So, yeah, just US right now. Roby said, is there any chance for a gloss black primer in the future?
Probably not.
that
I
work?
can't. What are you wanting the gloss for? So that you can do like speed paint or something right over the top? You can technically add our gloss varnish to our current primers and make gloss primers out of them without affecting the adhesion, because
So
the varnish
Gray
is very
Knights.
similar to the primer in its adhesion qualities, so you'll still get a really great prime coating on it and have it be gloss.
Roby said Gray Knights.
So you're trying to do some metallic over the top of it. You want the gloss coat for the metallics. You could prime it, do the gloss varnish over the top if you wanted to do it easy and not worry about mixing. That's probably the way I would do it. So just prime it black with our current black primer and then do a coat of gloss varnish over the top of that. And then you go bing, then do your metallics. That's going to be the best way.
Bakamara just found out FLGS is closing in South Fort Worth. Well, that's always a bummer.
I hate to hear that.
Did is that where you got your Procryl? Did they carry Procryl?
We do have a couple in Fort Worth.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Depends on if I'm over there. But they do carry the line. Spec Ops, I would love to shop local for Procryl, but my local store just doesn't have the market for more than GW. Oh. That's too bad.
It happens. Once they get the paint in and, the painting group tries it, we found that even in Nottingham, England, the backyard of GW, where a lot of those stores have only ever sold GW, that when they got our paint in, they now, we've become number 1 or number 2 in sales, and that's in GW's backyard. So, but it does take the time being right for the retailer, and they have to have a crowd where they want to, focus in on investing in something that will obviously make them money. And there are a lot of stores that, the hobby portion of it is not as big as, say, card games and whatever else. We get it. We don't push the product on people. A lot of times what will happen is a store in an area will get the paints, and as soon as everybody starts asking for it, then the other stores in the area call us up and say, hey, another store in our area's got it. Would you mind setting us up? Sometimes by that time it's too late. We don't want everybody in a region to battle for lowest price, so. I love orange red. Such a good color.
Captain Mannering said a lot more people in his area are coming around to Procryl.
Yep.
In Nottingham. Liquor said, I like to think Procryl is sold in the back alleys of Nottingham to avoid the Inquisition.
That is the spot of the world where you would need to avoid the Inquisition, by the way.
Mike, I work every day. I'm in I'm in the office every day. We don't have any remote positions here, even mine.
Not how Monument works. Gotta be in the office. Turns out it's hard to manufacture paint from your house.
That was rare. The week before, and then last week, and I will be here forever from this point forward.
Oh yeah, she's been out recently, which
Yeah.
never happens unless
You love
she's
your
overworked
yeah.
over on the other side of the building, and she's still here. She's just not working with us.
Yeah.
Or the rare sick.
Yeah.
Which is very rare.
Well, yeah. A lot of times will come to work even if I don't feel good. If you love your job, you never work a day in your, well, a job is still a job. Let's not romanticize it. That is correct. Jordan could probably work remote.
Nope.
No.
Nope. No, he films in the studio right here.
Yep.
All the shorts and everything.
Does not have this kind of setup at home.
Our culture doesn't want remote people. You really need to be here and experience Monument Hobbies and to feel like you're part of it. Otherwise, it is just a job.
Yeah.
It's funny to say, but a lot of what we do that's special is all the craziness that happens around here, being part of that thought process, being able to see it live is very, very important.
And yes, we were, well, last weekend I was in San Diego as on a retreat with the business group that we're in. And then this past weekend, we were on a different retreat for the same group, basically. But we were just in Sedona. We didn't leave the state, just 2 hours north. But it was lovely. The weather was nice, and the scenery is beautiful. She is still there, Captain Mannerings. She is still there, and we are at home now with a very quiet house and no need to get up in the middle of the night. Which is
or
nice,
any other time. Last night I kept going, does the dog need to go out? Oh, wait.
It's a little rough now that we're home and she's not. No, Cora. Cora is in her little doggy boot camp. Oh yeah, the meditation, all the hippy dippy stuff was because we were in Sedona.
Yeah.
He lives like 30 feet away. Does that even qualify as remote? Yeah, right? He's basically here all the time.
Well, huzzah, huzzah! I'll just throw back my legs and pollute my britches with delight.
Voltage Fatso, thank you for the sub.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Sai.
Yes, we put her in a little boot camp to learn some manners. She's
Yeah,
a
she
very
does need some
lovable
manners.
dog,
She needs to go to charm school.
but she is very aggressive with her love.
We haven't done ourselves any favors by allowing that to be the way it is for when other people are around. You're not bad.
Someone on the radio was saying Phoenix will be unlivable due to heat in 10 years or so. It's not going to happen that fast. I mean, we are built differently here. I don't imagine that we're going to have to all vacate Arizona in 10 years. I don't think that's
I was going to say, that's somebody that doesn't live here.
That is a very short period of time.
That's people that see, oh my God, it's been 110 degrees in Phoenix for 30 days. And we're like, and?
Yeah, that's no different than any other year. It's what happens every summer. Every summer people make a big deal about it. Like it's never happened before.
I lived in lots of places, and I'll tell you what, New York, Texas, right, are much worse.
Well, yeah, because they don't have the same, like they're not as prepared for it. You know, like New York.
Texas
people
is,
die
but
'cause
the
they don't have air
humidity will kill you.
conditioning. Huh?
Texas is, but the humidity will kill
The
you.
humidity.
New York
exactly.
is not.
Right.
You know, the Pacific Northwest, not.
Right.
Here, everybody's
Exactly.
knows. It's already figured out. Once you get past 110, it's all the same.
Yeah. Hope she doesn't return with the dunce cap. Yeah, we hope we hope this goes well.
So they sent us a picture of her out on like training day with 3 other pups,
Yeah.
dogs, full-grown
Very
dogs,
sad.
and there's 4 trainers. She's the only one with a muzzle on. So we are, and a bandana of some sort, like a red bandana
like
around her neck. We already
it's
know
purple.
she's the class bully.
Yeah, she's probably
She's rough. She's not a dog that runs from other dogs. She runs towards all other
Yeah.
dogs. And so she just wants love, but she will hurt people
Yeah.
because she's, you know,
She's
65
heavy.
pounds of muscle
Yeah.
and love.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
all
Is she
right.
doing doggy meditation? Did she eat the other guy in a past life? Maybe. That sounds about right. Some bad qualities for head of HR, yeah. And dog school training the owner for sure. When we pick her up on Thursday, we have a 2-hour appointment to go through all the rules and all the things that she's learned and how we can keep it up.
Yeah.
Because it definitely is a big part, like a big responsibility for the owners to maintain everything that she's learned, for sure.
A little bit of warm flesh mixed in with the orange red. This is a great combo to give you more of a peachy flesh tone to do your final highlights on something that is intended to be shiny red or more metallic-y red.
Caleb Cushing is wondering if there's a way to speed dry noosh.
I mean, you can use air, but you know, not really. Air dryer on cold, believe it or not.
The humidity doesn't get you, the other Texans will. Max Salty said, Jason, do you and the painting crew have a tutorial for people like me to learn how to load a brush off of a dry palette? Pro Curl works great for me, but I can never get the consistency right.
Yeah, if you watch the video that we've got that's like me telling you how I paint, right? That's pretty much what that whole video is.
Mike, I will be here by 10:30 and here for the rest of the day. So it's
It shows
unavoidable.
you how I moisten and load my brush. But I mean, I can also show you as I'm painting here.
Sapo would like to adjust the hue on the drab brown to make it a darker drab brown. Can't seem to figure out the right brown to adjust with. Should I use 2 colors to darken it?
So black brown would be a good choice.
Seems like there is some green in it.
That's the
There's a
thing. You
little
could
green
also
in there.
use like black green, black brown would be where I'd start.
Mike, I just need to tell you that anything that could potentially cause a fire is going to be very triggering for me. There's no way around it. I know that it's funny, but it's going to be difficult for me on that one. So I'm just going to let it be, and I need to not be involved. Brutal Burrito is wondering if we have any examples of what Golden Earth basing texture looks like once it's dried.
I probably could show you. I think the actual bases that we use to show the textures are all in the trade show stuff. But yeah, give me a minute and I'll see if I can't find something around here that has some on it.
Oh, Captain Mannerings is pointing out that on the stream from June 5th, you did some stuff about loading brush dilution and related things. Back to the how to
Oh yeah, great.
work on the dry palette.
Give me just a second and get through some of this work, and then I'll do some live here too.
Main Shaman, I'll obviously let Jason answer this, but he doesn't really do any different types of levels of painting. All of his painting is just kind of how he paints.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have like, you know, like some people will talk about like display quality or anything like that. He just paints. If I'm understanding your question correctly.
What was the question?
What level of painting are you going for on the mech?
I mean, obviously a little bit more basic. You know, I'm not gonna spend a inordinate amount of time and skill on a model made out of PVC, because it's, you know, while not being a what we call cheap board game plastic board game mini, it is that same stuff. The plastic, the lines are not great. You know, I didn't do a tremendous amount of cleanup on the sculpt. I'm literally taking the mech the way it comes out of the package, but that's the whole goal here, is to show you that with some simple techniques you can make, you know, a mech that was bought at Barnes and Noble for, you know, $27 for a pack of 4 or 5. You can make them look really, really good with some simple techniques. I'm not doing a lot of craziness to it. I mean, I freehanded the gray Death Legion skull on the shoulders, but Jen's right. I don't think in terms of, you know, like tabletop quality and that kind of stuff. It's not that I don't paint that way. It really, for me, is just when do you stop? The way that I'm painting this mini is the same way I would paint any miniature, even a display miniature. I'm just going to stop a lot quicker, or I'm going to skip a lot of steps. You know, things I might have done, everything from cleanup to more colors in the mid-tones or something, to speed the process up. That's one thing that I really like to implore people to understand about painting, is that, you know, you can kind of find your stride with some techniques and then reuse those techniques over and over and over again to do any model you're painting. You know, dry brushing can be used on display models. No reason why not to.
Akamaru said, just wanted to say, I meme about eating paint and tried to drive people crazy, but this level of direct support for the product is why I keep shilling for you anytime I'm given the chance. We appreciate you. And
thank you.
The paint eating stuff is all fun for us still. The thing that I love is that we don't have any posts right now about eating the paint or about not eating the paint. And every post we make, there's people who comment about eating the paint, which we love. That's community right there.
Why we love you guys.
Yep, that's why we love you guys.
Well, that and Game Delay gives us free legal services here on chat. So. He's always giving us free legal advice during stream.
Ghost Hunter would like for you to show them how to do NMM on an entire mech.
Well, I mean, to some extent, it's what we're doing, right? I always say, and not tongue-in-cheek, but that every time you paint, you're already using all the right tools to do non-metallic metal. You know, right now, if you look at the gun barrels, I've done some shine on the gun barrels. They feel more metallic maybe than the rest of this stuff. But the fact that I'm going with a higher contrast highlight on everything else on the panels is meant to be painted metal. I mean, that's what this red is turning into, right? Painted metal, same thing as non-metallic metal. I've gone a little bit further with like the steel on the hand and the, you know, the gun barrels and the missile plate there, and, you know, maybe the vents on the back. But they're so tiny that it's not going to really give off until I put like the little pinch of white on them.
Game Delay said, I give you advice that's worth everything you pay me.
Yep. Yep. I pay you in free amazing paint tutorials, and you give me nothing.
James Matthias, I will never eat the paint, but I sure do like using it. Well, we appreciate that. And I support your not eating the paint. T. Schmidt said, I enjoy that so many fans of the paint sit on both sides of the paint eating debate. It is very split. Actually, no, I think more people eat it. James, live a little. Or don't. Because it's not food. Wow, I didn't realize I was cheating you. I need to give you some good advice one of these days.
See? Can't believe I have to get so vocal about the fact that you're not paying attention to what I'm giving you.
Oh, well, there you go, Ghost Hunter. Check that one out. If I ever need to purge my stomach because I ate poison, just grabbing a bottle of Pro-Acryl. Why not work? That's just going to make it colorful. Try the brush goop. But don't eat the brush goop either. Teeny, you are a good influence. She said, never been a paint licker. Even got Captain Mannerings to stop. That positive peer pressure.
Well, it should be.
another way to look at it. Jason gives me successful marketing. I give you real money. Paint is friend, not food. Made some Philly cheesesteak tortellini. That sounds good. And that dash of dark hot pink gave it some real wow factor.
You quit
no,
it.
it did not. Did not.
You quit it.
Just made your teeth pink. Main Shaman, we're not restocking any of the Mindworks or Journeyman miniatures.
Man, it looks totally different, right? This is a good view. The red that we did with just the burnt red, pyro red, orange red blend, and then with the shine,
Oh yeah.
using the orange red and warm flesh to do the edges. Just a great way to get a shiny red. Red's a tough one because stuff tends to get too pink or too orange. And, you know, you can do either and it still looks good with red. But when you really want to get red metallic to look shiny, better to stay in this kind of peachy area. Not too orange, not too pink. And then make your decision at the last highlight for where you want to take it. If you really like an orange glow, plastics a lot of times will give it a more orangey look, like taillights on a car. Whereas metal tends to be a little more pink.
Baka said we can all agree we need a eclectic salmon in the range sooner than later, but for the time being, how do you mix that color?
This is it. Warm flesh, orange red. 100%. is the same color that I mix by hand when doing my Blood Angels that we so lovingly call Eclectic Salmon.
Bring it to my notes. There you go.
And then you can get to your highlight with it very easily by just a little bit more warm flesh along the way.
1-to-1? 50-50?
Yeah. I would say it's about right. Probably a little more red than warm flesh to start. And then you go more towards 50-50 for like the highlight. If you're doing red like what I'm doing, then I'll go 50-50 for the highlight, the final highlight, before moving to something like pale pink. Because I'll do pale pink as the final highlight on this. Because I really like the way that looks on metallic. Same exact setup that I did to my Blood Angels.
Game Delay said, I also keep people guessing what my highlights are going to look like until the last minute. Even me. Yeah, a lot of times when I paint, it's a surprise even to me what it looks like at the end.
Same here. You guys know I don't build a plan very well. Kind of evolves as you do the painting. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Good job, Panda. Keep being that positive role model. Awkwardish Panda said dinner's in the oven and I'm back in my office. Happy to say that no Pro Crow was used in the cooking of this meal. Hashtag don't eat paint.
All right. This is paint, so I'm not going to highlight the sections of the logo with this bright color. We did it with the orange red, and that's enough. Catch a few more of these edges on the backside. Probably want to put a lot. This is a number 2 brush, so I can't get a ton of water on it, but enough to where I can get just a nice slight glaze going for these big flat panels, and just glaze a little bit of that brighter color over towards the edge that I just did. Just once. Don't have to layer that up even. Get a little bit of a brighter shine going over towards the final edge. Do that on these, whatever these are, toes. I like that. Then it's pale pink, a color that I really don't use very often. Somebody asked a while back, what's a color you use the least? Pale pink may be one of my least used colors, but it's one of the most important colors when I use it. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. Because when highlighting red, it's pale pink. That's your choice. Pale pink. It's a great mixer when you're getting into warm colors. It's a great mixer for yellows.
Darth Mullen said, reading the stats now on that Regent, man, it's a nasty customer.
Yes. It's no joke. It's
It
like the modern day awesome. What the awesome should have been.
Game Delay is saying that everyone needs to hop into Awkwardish Panda's stream to find out what they're really like. The plot's getting hatched.
With this brightest color, not much use of it at all, just a little dot in the middle of the arc that we've done for shine on the inside of the gun barrels. Treat it like white. You don't want a lot of this on your model. Just little pinpoints of light around the edges.
Darth Mullen said it's what the awesome should have been. Agreed. 3 ER larges, LBX 20 AC, 2 medium pulse, and a micro pulse. I can't get away. I can't get close. I can only get shot.
Good God. Opens you up as it closes or you close with it with the ER large. 3 of them is insane. It has the heat to do it. And then hits you with that LB20. That's insane. Filthy clanners. I don't get a mech like that. Have you pumped the giveaway in chat again?
Oh.
Remember, if you're just tuning in, or if you didn't hear about it the first time, we've got a giveaway going.
Now you're not entering the giveaway here on the stream.
Nope.
So you don't have to type in giveaway here.
Click the link.
Click the link and then enter there.
One where you gotta go enter your email address and give us a follow on all of the new Hobby Nerd socials so you can keep up with the new game design and development news. All sorts of cool stuff going on. Got some of the first artwork back from our character artist for the second game today. Really good stuff there. Dave and I had a really good time looking at that.
Brian Wallace said, I'm still very unhappy we don't have mechs in the real world yet. I was hoping we'd have Gundam by now.
Gundam, or at least hoverboards, right? What's going on? Not a very practical, mechanical design.
Does Age of Angra have 4 other Start over. Does Age of Angra have 4 other rule books I'm privileged to have to buy to
Yes.
play a game?
Yes, that's the only way we can see being profitable. And then by the time you've bought the book, read it, have an understanding of the game, we've changed to the next version of the game and come out with 4 more rule books. So,
Recognized Imposter said we can't be trusted with mechs yet. There's too much road rage as is.
oh God, can you imagine?
Deadbeat just wants a robot that can do dishes, laundry, and cleaning. Amen.
Yeah, I saw a thing that said, you know what we really want AI for
Yeah.
is to do our laundry and our
Yes,
cleaning
please.
so that we can be creative, not for AI to do our creative stuff so that we can do laundry and cleaning.
Exactly. Darth Mullen, thank you for following. We're way behind where we were supposed to be with Jaws sequels 2. Future is disappointing. Will you also pledge to invalidate the printed rules with amendments in 6 months?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on. Who do you think we are? We're not plebs. Your favorite army? Oh, boy, are we going to hurt you. Every time you feel like your army finally gets its day in the sun, nerf. For those of you that don't know, maybe you haven't been on stream while we've been talking about it, Age of Angra is our first game. There's a whole series of developer diary videos up on the YouTube channel now, the Hobby Nerd Studios YouTube channel, where we talk to the developer and designer Ben about what led him to create the game, what his motivations were, how he decided to come up with the look and feel and the lore. Really good conversations. take a look at that, is a tag team fighting game done with cards as the mechanism to tell the story and all the game stuff. So there's no real random mechanics to the game at all.
Game Delay would really like half of his box of Age of Angra to be unusable by next year for tournament play.
Yeah, definitely.
Will you release new editions of rules and keep the same models from 30 years ago despite the other new armies having new models?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure.
All the things.
You got us figured out.
6 months. Invalidate the printed
Have you
book
done this
2 weeks
before?
before it's been released. Now we're talking.
I feel like some of you have done this before. It feels like this may be familiar to you. Maybe we're not as creative as we think we are.
Mike said, "Sweet. I'm looking forward to the codex for the battle formations manual with the outdated rules." I don't know if there was an extra to the codex in there. I felt like there wasn't. Like it was going to be an addition to an addition.
Hey, how about this? How about this? Just to make it interesting for you, what we're going to do is when we switch editions, we're going to switch the core rule portion, but you're going to have to use portions of your own army book, your old one, but we're not going to make it clear which portions you can use, right? So you'll have new rules and be very unclear how your army plays. How about that? We'll do that for you. I did finger guns on that.
Yeah,
one.
you did. Jade, hello. Happy Monday.
What's going on, Jade?
There was not an extra. I got it right. Okay, good. I kind of figured that you meant to put that extra one.
Can we get special promo cards at cons to alienate the player base who can't go? Definitely. We will do all the things that make going to cons completely special. I mean, we kind of already do. Relapse, no. No. No rules. A little bit of bright neutral gray. Again, was our highlight. Want to get the red highlights down on him before I go back and highlight some of these flat panels. Need to have more than just the edges highlighted. You can see where I did a highlight quickly on the top of the shoulder there. I need to create a glaze that will do that, because just doing it with bright neutral gray and water on the brush is going to get a little tacky. So I'm going to go ahead with some glaze wash medium. So a couple drops of bright neutral gray. Then our glaze wash. Definitely the easiest way to get to where you can glaze with brighter colors is to use the wash medium. Right. So, you know, if I did 2 drops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 5 to 1, something like that. And then a little spritz of agua in there.
What are
Just-
you answering a question?
No.
Right, there were a couple questions that people wanted that we were going to come back to.
Okay, what was that?
One was the using a dry palette, I think.
Oh, yeah. How
And
I
the-
load my brush from the dry palette.
And the other one was the golden earth texture, if we have any of that.
Ah, good. Thanks for reminding me. I'm doing a horrible job over here. I'm getting so caught up in what I'm doing.
No.
All right, so let's start with the first. Let's go over to this. Let's talk about how I load my brush for the kind of painting that we've been doing here. I'll use what I have in the cup here, since it's the same as a dry palette, right? I've got some paint on here mixed, or I could actually take some of this red mix that I've got. Let's get a model. Let's get this white primer Howard the Duck. So I will take my cup, right? I will take my brush, rinse it from the last color, whatever. I don't squeegee it on the side. A lot of people flick the brush along the side. I don't ever do that. I just rinse it and take it directly out. So now it has however much water it will hold, right? And if I want to glaze, I might take that amount of water, right? Like I might just go straight with that amount of water into this, but I don't want, usually when I'm just layer painting, I don't. I'll come over and on my paper towel here, right? I'll wipe once, twice, sometimes 3 times. I still have enough shininess on the brush that you'll see there. Let's get it over here.
Deadbeat, we were just talking about that last week, actually, about the different songs that Noosh could be related to, and I think we decided that "Push It" by Salt and Peppa was the one.
So you can see it's still shiny enough. It has enough moisture to it to let the paint flow. Then I'll just come over here and on the drop of paint like this pale pink, I'll just pull out a little bit of pale pink. And now that little tail that I've drawn out of the main droplet, I don't go right into the droplet and then smudge it all around. I pull a tail out of the droplet and let it mix with the water that's in my brush. And now over here I have a very thin amount of paint. And I usually take some of that off on my finger. It lets me test opacity. I can see how it covers the other paint. That's pretty good. And then I can come over here and I can use it to start laying down color, let's say, right? And that makes sure that it's very smooth. By taking some, now I'm painting a very bright color on a very bright color, so you're not going to see much. But it makes sure that I've gotten rid of the big dollop of water that's on the brush, because a brush holds a lot of water, whether it looks wet or not. So I'll rinse again, wipe again. Come over here, let me get a darker color. Some
Real
mahogany.
DiCaprio, it is a Howard the Duck. I don't know if it's from that specific one.
It's Howard the Duck from Marvel United.
Not Zombies, Guardians of the Galaxy pack.
No, it's Howard the Duck from Marvel United. Right. So with the mahogany, same thing. Rinse my brush, don't wipe it, bring it over here once, twice, 3 times on the paper towel, pull a tail of mahogany out down here, get it to where I want it. I can keep pulling paint down into the tail of it here until I feel like I got good opacity. Then I come over to my hand, get rid of a lot of the material so I don't have a big blob of water. And then I can come over here and I can start painting with it. And I get a nice smooth brown that I can layer around. I'm not pushing a big drop of water around, so I'm not going to get any weird staining, right? I can just get a nice smooth base coat going. Right? Now, I don't paint like this over white, so this is much different than the way you see me paint, but it gives you a good idea of what you're going to get, right? You can just go back and continue layering that until you get a smooth base coat to start with. Right? I'm not fighting a big droplet of paint. It's going to be fairly smooth, right? And then you just keep doing layers of that if what you were doing is working this way until you get the color you want. And vibrancy and all that. Right? That would actually be a nice dirty base for like a leather hat right there. Okay. Now, if I wanted it to be darker, maybe I wipe my brush 5 or 6 times, pull out a different tail of paint because this is already diluted, so come over here and pull out more. It's going to be more opaque. Still take some off, but you can see that it's more opaque than the last one. Now when I paint with this, every brush stroke is going to give me much more color. So I just adjust how much water I leave on my brush, and that does all the decision making for me, because when I go get the paint off the palette, the amount of water on my brush determines how thin that paint is going to be when I go to paint with it on the model. Make sense? That's all you see me doing 100% of the time when I'm painting models. Whether it's robots or, display busts or whatever, that's all I'm doing. The only time I do anything different is like now, when I've got some glaze that I've mixed up with the glaze wash medium, but I still just take the brush, wipe it a couple times on the paper towel, come over here, load it up with paint, kind of willy-nilly. That's a lot of paint right there. If I were to just touch the model with this amount of paint, I would get, let me see if I got a test model around here. Where's my unfortunate marine? Right? So with this unfortunate marine here, if I were to just start painting with this, look at how much paint is on there now. Right? That's a big old drop. If I hold the model, you'll start seeing the drop move and form down here. That's too much paint, because if I start painting with it, this is what gets people in trouble, especially as they start painting thinner, is that now you're pushing all this material around, and gravity is going to define where that pigment goes, not your brush, because now it's in all this big chunky droplets. Right? As opposed to if I come over here and wipe most of the material off, it seems counterintuitive. But then when I go to paint, now I get a much smoother approach to the paint. Right? It's not going to have the same opacity because there's not as much material, but it's also not going to be that complete disaster that up here was. Here it's at least smooth. See the difference? Big bunches of pigment where it's still very watery, and you're not going to clean that up. If you touch your brush to it, it's going to take it all the way down to the base coat like that, right? So you can't like mop it up. It removes it all. It's like an eraser. Makes it worse. So one of the biggest things people don't realize about painting is that the amount of paint on your brush is going to be one of the foremost contributors to irregularities in painting the model, right? Do this again. Get rid of most of the paint on my finger. And then come over here. And now I've got a very nice, thin, bright gray that I can use to do my panel brightness. It isn't going to be chunky. Going to get me what I need across the top of these plates that are facing my sunlight and such. And you'll see, even though I wiped off a tremendous amount of the paint, I'm still getting the brush to work quite a while. Right? I'm still being able to paint for a long time.
Salty said, thank you. I think part of my struggle might be I haven't shaken my Pro Acryl aggressively enough. It's either too thick or too thin, but never just right.
I mean, our paint shouldn't give you problems like that out of the we're very liquid, very low viscosity paint. It's done that way on purpose, so you don't really have to worry about it. But yeah, I mean, try it. If you feel like that's giving you problems, then go for it. I mean, none of these paints that I'm using here feel very thick out of the bottle.
Are the ones that you're seeing are thick, Salty? Are they are they closed up real tight? Mathis, hello. It was retreat. It was fantastic. Nice to get away. We were only just a couple hours north, but the weather was really nice. Pretty scenery. Jason got his aura red.
I love how that's what you lead with. Jason got his aura red. Like that was the whole thing about what we did. There's a lot more to that than that.
It was great. It was some good social time with people. We had good food. Not a ton of like organized events. So like you didn't feel like you were just constantly going. It was a really nice weekend. And it is 3:55.
Great. Time flies. Holy heck.
Today has flown by. It's gone by so.
Jen comes in and is like, what do you want for lunch? Like, it's lunchtime? What?
You've had them sealed up pretty well. Thick, thin definitely comes from my poor brush skills with the water. Shouldn't. Oh, no. I didn't take it that way at all. Yeah, Jason, that's what people always say. You're going to read my aura. There's a lot more to it than that. 3:55, impossible. Been here before.
Back into a second layer over these top panels where everything would be the brightest. And I'm not worried when I do this if I'm making my edge highlighting go away in the bright areas. That's kind of the goal, is to see where it makes the edge highlighting almost disappear by doing this fast glaze. Because those areas will require a brighter edge highlight, right? If I brighten this panel, and the edge highlighting is not as visible anymore, then I know I've got to go back and do a brighter edge around all of this. But it sets up a really good light on the model. Notice how now, since I did from this thigh plate all the way up through the chest and the arm, the part of the arm that faces out this way, now my light's a lot more readable on this mech. I could even come down and do a little bit down in here. I don't want to go too overboard with it. Again, this is just the water on my brush. I'm only wiping the brush on my paper towel once, so it adds a lot of water to this. And you can see how thin this is. But that's exactly where I need it, so that it's very, very thin, low opacity, low thickness. Make sure that it skates across the model the way I want it to, but also doesn't drop too much pigment on the model at any one time. That way I can layer it up and get it just the way I want it. Do the back of these half areas on the mech, maybe a little bit on the foot. I probably will use some Noosh very strategically on the foot and base area. But now I've got my brightness set a lot better on this guy with just very, very quick glaze. All right, golden basing. I don't think I have anything where I've just done it and left it on its own. I typically go in and paint all of my basing up once I've got it on there, regardless of the color. So I'll start with a color like Golden Earth so that I have the right general coloring. Same with like the Red Earth and so on and so forth. No, I'm pretty sure I used it there, of course, but I painted it afterwards. So that did us a lot of good. So if you're just looking, I mean, the color will stay the same. If what you want to do is see the texture, then the texturing on it is the fine earth, which is this stuff. Right? So this is our fine earth that I've done on Usharon. So it's going to have that kind of texture to it. Not too big. I typically will go in with the fine, like the golden or the red earth, and then I will use the coarse brown or the coarse gray on top of it to make give the feel of uneven surface, piles of rock, things like that. But this is the fine texture that we make. Whether it's gray, doesn't matter what color it is, it's all the same texture, right? And then I just go in and I paint it. But as for color, it's going to look exactly like it does in the bottle. It's golden brown, basically. I don't even know that I have one. Serious. Like, why do we not have... Oh, there it is. Jordan uses the heck out of it, but I don't see anything over here either. But you're going to get that color, that golden brown coloring is going to be the color when it dries. You can see like up around the top here, there's a bunch of dried crusties on the lip. That's the color you get here. And the texture is like this. Do we have uncolored basing material? One you can mix your own colors into. Snow is white. You can mix color into that, but you can mix color into any of these. Well, we start with grays and browns, and then you just paint them. It's the same pigmentation that we use in our paint, so you can paint them however you like. I only use them for the texture. I don't really ever use them for color. Occasionally I will. Like for some of the mechs that we did, we used red earth. Oh, no, we didn't. We used concrete and painted it up to red earth on all of my Battletech stuff because the texture, the grain of the texture was more in scale to do that. Brutal Burrito, yeah, no problem. I would use concrete or snow on these guys because they're supposed to be like 5 stories tall, 6 stories tall. So to use the fine or the coarse earth makes each one of those rocks huge, you know, in sense of scale for the mech. So I do pay attention to that when I'm using them. Yeah, Golden Earth works great for the Star Wars stuff. Gives it that Tatooine feel for sure, right out of the jar. We made them with the pigmentation so that you can use them and not worry about painting, or just put a quick wash on them and they'll be fine. Like, you know, wash and then dry brush it with like pale yellow on Golden Earth. Boom, done. But you can also just paint over them and not worry about the color at all. What was the workup on the Red Cape for Usharon? It started with Deep Sea Ben, which is a very dark blue-green. It's around here someplace. Yeah. Dark Sea Ben was my shadow color on it. And then it was burnt red, and then red oxide, the new color in the Adepticon set. And then a little bit of Pyro Red, some Orange Red. I used some Naphthol Red from our upcoming heavy-bodied tube acrylics to test it out. So the Naphthol Red is the only thing that doesn't exist in our line, really, as of yet. And then I mixed the tan flesh with the red to do the dusty highlights. Again, I love flesh tones in red for the highlights. Typically gives you a much more good way to either do bright shine, like on this guy, or really faded highlights like you would do on cloth that wasn't supposed to be like super shiny in the first place. Just give it that kind of threadbare look. Thank you, Mavis.
We ready for links?
Just learned a new trick. Sometimes I can't see the effect I'm going for through the paint, but if I turn the model upside down, your brain resets and see the image I'm aiming for. Artists all the time will take whatever they're painting, either turn it upside down, like if you're doing a painting, you can take it and turn it upside down and start trying to work on it. And it totally flips your brain. Digital artists, you'll see them flip the image left and right. Right? So if I'm painting somebody looking off kind of 3/4 to the right, I'll flip it to where they're looking 3/4 to the left, because you can assume and you can start looking at the perspectives differently, and you'll find flaws very quickly. Right? It's like those things where they take your face and they take the right side and overlay it on the left to see what your face would look like symmetrical, and you look like a totally different person. Same thing, same effect when you move an image left, right, up, or down, flip it horizontally or vertically. That's the reason a bunch of that exists. So yeah, when you're painting and you see your model and you turn it upside down like this, you might notice your highlights don't look right. Maybe you got something different, but your eye will register it quicker because it's a new way of perceiving the whole deal. So yeah, that's a great way to do stuff. Take a picture of it and flip the picture horizontally in the editor on the phone. That helps tons. From a contrast, direction of lighting, all that kind of stuff. Great ideas. Everybody, thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you enjoyed Monday. Remember the exclamation point giveaway as well. Probably the biggest thing that we're talking about today is to, you love when you take a picture and flip the eyes and mouth upside down. Oh yeah, it's so good. So good.
That sounds creepy.
So good. But make sure you follow the links that Jen put up in chat there, gang. If you're new around here, please hit that follow button. We stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in Phoenix, Arizona. We'd love to see you back if you're new. Like you see, we don't really have a plan during these painting sessions. We usually have models that we're putting paint on, but it's really about you guys asking questions. Hopefully we give you good feedback and get you more confident in your painting. There's lots of great ways to do that. Join over at monumenthobbies.com. You can buy yourself some Pro Acryl and Pro Series brushes that you see us using on stream, along with a bunch of other amazing hobby products. Join the Discord, as Ghost Hunter says, 4,396 amazing artists, and one who does what? What did he say today? And one person who is here for the high quality edging content. Damn it, you made me read it. Ghost Hunter. So yeah, a fantastic community of artists over on Discord, from beginners to professionals that are always willing to help. Great inspiration, great pet picks. Heck, we got people sharing recipes. So a great place to come hang out and make some hobby friends. We'd love to see you there as well. So stay tuned. We're going to find somebody to raid. If you've been watching us over on YouTube, you might want to jump over to Twitch. We're going to find somebody to go extend our hobby goodness into the evening with. Hope you guys have a wonderful night, and we will see you back here, same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow. Adios, gang. We're out.